Good morning, everybody. We're coming to you live online from Congregation Brith Shalom, and where we meet every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. to discuss relevant Musar topics. This series, we're going to talk about Pirkei Avot. We're going to go through each Mishnah of ethics of our fathers. I look forward to really going into great depths about this incredible part of our Mishnah. Okay, before we do that though, I want to share with you a little thought about this past week's Parsha. We spoke about Tavo, when the Jewish people will come to the land of Israel. So what does God command us to do? You have to give away first of the crops. And we all know that when we work hard for something, and finally the product is there, right? You sow, right? You plant, you harvest, you work through all of the difficult steps to reap the fruits of your labor. The first thing you want to do is enjoy it. God says, wait, before you enjoy it for yourself, I want you to give some away. And our sages tell us the most important element a person needs, the most important ingredient that a person needs for happiness is to be a giver. The great Rav Dessler would always say when he would perform a wedding, he would say under the chuppah, he'd say, right now, bride and groom, you want to give the world to each other. He says, as long as you keep that going, and you want to be the giver, and you want to be a giver and a giver and a giver, your marriage will be successful. However, the moment you start asking about what can I take, that's when the marriage starts going downhill. It's not about taking, it's about giving. And this fundamental principle is not only true about marriage, it's true about everything in life. God is teaching us here in this Parsha that we just read yesterday in synagogue, to give, to be always the giver. Now, why am I mentioning this now? Because I've seen this past week, since Hurricane Harvey hit, and our prayers go out to our friends in Florida, that they should be safe, they should be unharmed, both physically, emotionally, financially. They shouldn't have any type of pain and or suffering. Amen. But what I've seen by volunteers coming from all across the world, I've seen the most incredible giving possible. I mean, people who have come, people who have jobs, people who have families, people just got up and said, you know what, our brethren in Houston are hurting. We're going to help. And it's not only Jews, it's non-Jews as well. People who know what it means to be a giver. A giver without taking. A giver without any credit. A giver without any expectations of anything in return. Just to give. Coming towards Rosh Hashanah, which is only less than 2 weeks away, there's no greater virtue that we can ask for than to emulate God by being givers. I see over here David Kushner is watching. He's watching from Pennsylvania. I mean, this is a giver. This is a person who got on a plane, flew down to Houston, and worked 24/7. Till the work was done. And then he's out. No credit, no fame, no billboards, no signs. Came, did his work, and out. And I know that now he's helping people who are affected by Irma. What we're seeing here is people who are givers. That is the greatest quality that someone can and should aspire to. Because that is a godly trait. God is a giver. A giver, even when we do things against God, God continues to give. Without any preconditions. Giving and giving and giving. So, I think it's not only important because we see it in this week's Parsha, but it's important in every area of life, God, we see throughout the Torah, we see a constant emphasis on being givers. Whether it's bikurim, whether it's trumot, whether it's masrot, whether it's this type of tithe, that type of tithe, right? The first of your crops you give away. The first of your firstborn child. You have to purchase that child again from the Kohen. Nothing is a given that it's yours if you don't give. You have to learn. God is training us to be God-like with these commandments that are telling us and constantly reminding us, give. Give. I teach this to my children. You earn money, 10% immediately you put it aside like the Torah commands us. Put it aside. That doesn't belong to you. Think of it as, God gives you $10, right? Really, God wanted to give you $9. He says, you know what, I'm going to give them one extra so that they can be my messenger to give it away. To give it away to a good cause. So you make $1 million, right? 100,000 was given extra so that you can be God's giver out in the world, so that people can benefit and there can be charity and there can be other things.
I have a question.
So God should bless us all that we should always be the givers. Now, it does not mean that people who are receiving, people who are affected by the hurricane, that they are bad people. God forbid. Well, that's not what we're saying. But I will tell you that I have seen people who their houses were destroyed. They have nothing except for the clothes they're actually wearing, and yet the only thing they're concerned about is how they can help other people. They can help their neighbor. They can help their friend. So,
to the topic.
So, with that, my friends, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. We will come back hopefully shortly with another video, hopefully to inspire us here and to inspire those around on the internet. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. And I look forward to many more opportunities to learn together. And now we're going to continue with our live in-person programming. Thank you very much for joining us.